Hey guys, finally we have more information about Anjo Nala's Isolde and Kaalaa Bauna's Euphoria, and I know all of you have been waiting for it. I myself has been as well. So let us dive into their kit. At this point, the numbers has not been revealed, so it's more of the explanation of the Euphoria. So there is some guest work here being done. So I will definitely provide you all more information once we actually get their Euphoria, and then I will test it out in the Chinese version of Reverse 999. But before we start, let me shout out to ChunxiRavenClaw for the translation. And here is the translation for Anjo Nala's Euphoria, the sound of extravagant old dreams. So the rank 1, after a bound character does a follow-up attack, strengthen binding. And both Anjo Nala and characters gain legato chorus, and legato chorus can stack and will buff the characters based on the type of binding. So here strengthen binding is a little bit abstract. I do not know exactly what that means because she does not have this mechanic where it's strengthened binding before. She basically just bound herself to a character. So here I guess it's related to legato chorus because legato chorus is a stack buff. So I guess if every time a character does a follow-up attack, then legato chorus will gain more stacks, and the more stack you have, the stronger it becomes. So I think that refers to strengthened binding. So mind and flesh, which is for spirit and intellect, is increasing more attacks. Bone and blood, which is for plant and beast, increase more ultimate might. And then form and phantom is increased damage dealt by follow-up attack, and that is for star and mineral. And for her rank 2, when releasing interwoven dreams, the bound ally loses less HP. Before that it was 50%, so I guess maybe now it's like 25%, but it never really had been a problem, even before when using Anjo Nala. But anyway, it loses less HP. When strengthening a binding, Anjo Nala gain Moxie and ceremonious crit damage. So Anjo Nala gain Moxie is really interesting here, so that she can ult more often. Then I guess if you're talking about the beast and plant team, it's gonna be very easy that you can even ult every single round. So perhaps this will be a very good advantage to the plant and beast team, which none of us use. So I'm pretty excited to see how this actually works out. Then that will create a whole bunch of new team that you will use Anjo Nala with and make everything much more interesting. And for the bone and blood, which is plant and beast, they receive extra ceremonious crit damage. That is great. Rank 3, after interwoven dreams is released, after the attack, gain echoing end, which makes Feast of Lust and Angel Temptation deal extra mental damage. So this is a direct boost to Anjo Nala's damage. And for rank 4, legato chorus gain following effect. After a certain number of stacks, interwoven dreams will no longer cost AP and counts toward the spell limits. Alright, that is really a very good thing for ultimate. And then as well as increased self moxie after action and other extra effect based on type of binding. So again here you get increased self moxies. So in regards to bone and blood, which is beast and plant again, if previously the additional moxie is not enough for you to spam your ult every round, with this I guess definitely you will be able to spam out every single round. For mind and flesh, Feast of Lust deal extra mental damage, okay? Reduce the duration of him. This is really good because previously, if I'm not mistaken, every 2 rounds you will be able to trigger Angel Temptation. With this, you can do it every round. I will show you the rotation and how I think it will work. And I definitely do believe you can do this, triggering Angel's Temptation every single round. And for Bone and Blood, interwoven dreams deal extra mental damage, and the effect of ultimate might on interwoven dreams is strengthened. Okay, more damage, but again, you are probably able to use this every single round, okay, with this new Euphoria. And Form and Phantom, when Angel's Temptation, here, Form and Phantom is for Star and Mineral. Their Angel Temptation is usually weaker. The stronger one is at the end of him. But for Star and Mineral, every time the bound character uses an attack, they will do a weaker version of Angel's Temptation. And the interesting thing here is that there is not much change to how frequent they trigger or any form of rotation changes, but here they just increase the damage by allowing overflowing crit rate to turn into crit damage, and then it deals extra mental damage. So I believe they should fine-tune this, and it will probably be nearly as strong as the Mind and Flash. Mind and Flash, I would still think that it will be stronger because generally Mind and Flash is more for single target stages, because Feast of Lust is a single target attack, and Angel's Temptation is only triggered once, and that's AoE. But Form of Phantom usually is designed more for AoE fights, because every single follow-up attack that Anjo Nala does is AoE. So it will be slightly weaker in terms of damage. So overall, it seems that Anjo Nala is really tied more towards follow-up teams. And here I'll list out some of the follow-up units that probably will work very well with her. The first, Spirit and Intelligence. Intelligence I did not include like Lucy or Outreach because Dynamo team is so saturated with all the other Dynamo units. So I think they should be, Dynamo. So I'm going to put that aside. So here I listed out Isolde. Isolde has a lot of follow-up attack. Intermezzo, do it every start of the round after she used ultimate. And since Isolde is also getting Euphoria this patch, this is something that I will definitely try out. A Knight, we get him last patch in CN, and now he also does follow-up attack. So probably will work with Anjo Nala very well, but we will have to see. For Star, Flutter Page, definitely. Liang Yuan now is going to be pretty good, and because of how or more frequent you will be able to get Moxie with Anjo Nala now, you will not have problem maintaining Anjo Nala's ultimate, even if it's just P0, right? You are getting more Moxie from Anjo Nala now, definitely. Then Lilia, but Lilia damage now is really not up to that point, so I'm not sure if you really want to try that out. Keeperina, alright. Ezio Fua, however, you do need to keep in mind that Ezio doesn't allow Anjo Nala to gain Moxie when Ezio attacks. So you will get ultimate slower. However, if you are playing this, the main thing is not the ultimate. You want the trigger, the S1, S2, the Angel's Temptation, and then the Titillate and Captivate that Anjo does in order to disable the enemy. For Mineral, we have Pickles, Fatutu, Jiuyangzi, Babel, Sentinel, Semmelweis, Cassandra, I forgot to list, Kaalaa Baunaa. Kaalaa Baunaa definitely will be one of the core members. I believe that works very well with Anjo Nala after she gets her Euphoria. For Plant Team, Argus has follow-up attack, Jessica E2 does it, but yeah, I don't think you will actually use Anjo with Jessica, because if you link with Jessica, Jessica will be using ultimate so often, there will not be much poison stack on the enemy, so it's kind of beat the purpose, right? So don't do it. Don't put Jessica with Anjo Nala. And Bob Beast, we have Jay, Lopera, Medicine Pocket, and Moldir. And I think it will work well with Moldir, so that's something to look out for. Okay, so these are the teams or the units that will work with her. But keep in mind, I just list the unit with follow-up attack. I'm not saying that all of this will be good with her. But these are things that I will try out. So I'll be really busy next batch in CN trying out all these different team comps. And specifically talking about Spirit Intelligence team, first, reducing him one extra time. You are going to be able to do Angel's Temptation every single round. And if the enemy is not resist or immune to captivation, you will perma disable the enemy. That is crazy. So all you need to do is basically, it's not Angels, Anjo Nala. Anjo Nala using S2, S1, and then Bound Ally, use S1 and S2. So S2, you set up him. You use S1, it reduces him by 1, so now it's 6. You use S1, it will reduce 1 more, and then Anjo Nala will do a follow-up Feast of Last Attack, which is her S1, and that reduced him again. And now with the Euphoria, it reduced again, so it reduced 3 times. And then now the bound ally use another attack, and then it reduces now 3 times, and that will instantly trigger Angel's Temptation. Then the next round, you use S2, S1, S2, S1 again. So, gonna be pretty good. However, it'll be very strict in terms of AP consumption. That is fixed, that you have to use 2 of Anjo Nala's incantation and 2 more of, whichever unit that you link to. Okay, so that gives no room to use any other units incantation. So if you want to do that, you bring another 2 support unit that is passive. Alright? Now, for Plant and Beast, as I mentioned, you probably will be able to ult every single round. So for example, let us look into this. So round 1, you use Anjo Nala's S2 to set up him. Then you use S1, and then bound character use S1 and S2. And because this is not the Spirit Intelligence setup, you will not trigger Angel's Temptation that quickly. So in round 2, you don't have to use S2 again. So you're just going to use S1 and then bound character S1 and S2. So every round you're going to do the same. Okay, here I'm not including ultimate in because first of all, ultimate will be free AP. So if you just get it, then you just use it. So here I just exclude it from the rotation. Alright, let us count a little bit in terms of Moxie. Anjo Nala use S1, that is 1 Moxie. Bound character use S1, that is 2 Moxie. And then use S2, that's now 2 Moxie, so that's 5. Anjo need 8 Moxie to get ultimate. And with Legato Chorus, when the bound ally actively use an incantation, that's 1 more Moxie. And when Anjo also actively use an incantation, that's 1 more Moxie. So at round 2, I listed 3 action. Anjo S1, bound ally S1 and S2. 3 action, 3 more Moxie, that's 8. So I haven't even considered the extra Moxie that you get when we are strengthening Legato Chorus, because I'm not exactly sure what it meant by strengthening Legato Chorus, so I excluded it first. But it seems that you don't even need it to get 8 Moxie every round. If we are able to get more Moxie that way, which means that we may not even need to use the bound characters S1 and S2 every single round. So this is going to make the gameplay more AP friendly, right? Give us more option to use other units incantation in order to ensure buff and debuff are sustained. But I'm really seeing the possibility of the Plant and Beast team being much more relevant now with Anjo Nala. And for Star and Mineral, actually nothing much changed. It's just that it gets stronger. So it's gonna deal more damage due to the crit to crit damage conversion and the extra mental damage that it gains. Moving on to Isolde. So Isolde rank 1 when an enemy is inflicted with burn or halo accumulate afterglow. I think this will be a standard statement for all characters that is related to afterglow. And this cannot coexist with blood tie. Oh, okay. So this is another new blood tie array. So now this is not an array, I don't know what to call it. But basically it's the same mechanic, so they cannot coincide. So it's gonna be just either one. Okay, Desire Freedom, her debuff now lower both reality and mental defense. Previously it's just reality. So this is definitely gonna make her more universal. For rank 2, Choking on Blood. So that is her ultimate. Does not give Rousing Morale anymore. And Finale does not give Power Burst. So the reason why they do that is because they are giving us a new buff, which is called Esiacatura. Sorry if I butchered that. And Apogiatura. And that basically increases damage for a certain number of turns. And this is definitely better than Rousing Morale because Rousing Morale is based on attack. Like after you attack it, then it's gone. Power Burst as well, after you attack and then it's gone. So you got to kind of you need to time it that when you use your strongest attack, that is when you want Rousing Morale to be active on your character so you can make use of it. But if you are using a unit, a DPS with follow-up attack, Then sometimes you will accidentally consume rousing morale if you use a follow-up attack. So now with the buff being a number of turns, will definitely make her a much better support unit. For rank 3, gain the following effect. When attacking, for every certain number of burn on the main target, increase incantation might of intermezzo. If there are at least a certain number of afterglow, further increase incantation might, and if there is a certain number of afterglow, further increase penetration rate of this attack. So this entire thing is just to make intermezzo stronger. And why they are doing this, even though Isolde is a support unit, so now she's going to be more like a sub DPS. In fact, when she first released, I kind of put her, if you do it right, she can even function as a DPS. So now she's going to be more of a sub DPS rather than a full support. And it seems that this is the trend that Blue Pog is going with their support unit. Like August is also doing a lot of damage, and Sentinel as well. So she kind of fall into the same category as those units, providing damage support and also a lot of self damage to qualify as a sub DPS. Now for the 4th rank, Intermezzo gain the following effect. For a certain number of afterglow when attacking, deal extra relative damage, and if there's at least some number of afterglow, increase self moxie. So she get passive moxies now. And the prelude, interlude, finale gains the following effect. The number of afterglow deducted at the start of the turn will reaccumulate. So she's gonna make the accumulation of afterglow more or easier to sustain after it is consumed. So overall, Isolde is pretty much the same as before. It's just that she become more generic support unit because now she also reduces the defense of mental, and they increasing her damage will make her a sub DPS for the current meta. So overall, I think her rotation will be quite easy. All she needs to do is apply her debuff every 2 turns. Okay, and you just wait for your ultimate to charge because she's getting passive moxies. So if you consider if every round she's getting 1 free moxie, and every 2 rounds you are getting 1 moxie from using her debuff, so likely in 3 rounds or 4 rounds, then you will get her ultimate automatically, and then you use her ultimate. So I think that's all for her rotation. And lastly, for Kaalaa Baunaa, rank 1, Enchanted Strike, Mythical Meteor, deal extra mental damage. Ultimate Perfection, which is her ultimate, deals extra mental damage as well. When actively releasing Enchanted Strike and Mythical Meteors, it counts as a follow-up attack. That is actually really good, because if like you have Flutter Page, then every of her attack is being buffed by Flutter Page. Pickles as well has extra action damage up. So yeah, that itself to me is already a pretty good improvement to Kaalaa Baunaa. Rank 2, at the start of the turn, acquire the maximum amount of Saturn. So okay, she's gonna get Saturn maximum every start of the round. And yeah, previously the problem with her is that it's quite difficult to get those planets. Like you really have to be spamming her incantation to get a lot of planet. And if you want to get like all of the same planet, then it will be even more annoying, right? Because you need to be only using that same type of incantation that you have no control over, because getting whatever incantation is kind of RNG. So this itself would make Kaalaa Baunaa much easier to play. And Saturn Divination further increases crit rate. Mars Divination further increases damage dealt. Okay, that is good. And for rank 3, when Kaalaa Baunaa removes a planet using an incantation or an ultimate, so if it's at the start of the round, when you gain full Saturn and it removes the planet, that will trigger nothing. However, if you actively use an incantation, then you will remove one of the Saturn, one of the planet, either Saturn or Mars, and then that will trigger a corresponding rank of Enchanted Strike to follow up, which will also deal higher meant damage. So it's something like this. At the start of the round, you have full Saturn. So let's say now you have rank 2 Saturn. You use Saturn again, and it will then grant Kaalaa Baunaa 2 more Saturn stacks. So you instantly remove another 2 Saturn. So that will trigger another rank 2 Saturn. If you use the second one, the Mystical Meteor, which is our S2, that will give her 1 Mars, which then will remove 1 Saturn. So when you use S2, you will trigger S2 attack, which is Mystical Meteor, and then you will do a follow-up Enchanter Strike. Yeah, so it seems that now if you use one attack, you actually do 2 attacks. Okay, if you use 1 incantation, you do 2 attacks. So you are kind of like doubling up her incantation damage, which is pretty crazy. Okay, and when a certain number of full moon is removed, gain a number of stacks of Frozen Radiance. Frozen Radiance increases ultimate might and fallout attack damage. And this Frozen Radiance can stack and cannot be dispelled. And for rank 4, after casting ultimate, gain 1 effect based on the planet with the largest number removed. When removing a certain number of Saturn at the start of the next turn, generate a corresponding rank. So here, if you have 3 Saturn, you use ultimate, you remove 3 Saturn. If you remember, if you remove 3 Saturn when you use ultimate, you will also trigger a rank 3 Enchanter Strike. And now, not only that you will trigger that, but at the next round, you will also get a rank 3 precast. And for Mars, which I kind of feel like for this case, you won't really be able to do it. That's because by the time you get ultimate and then in the next round, you get full stack of Saturn. Unless you waste some AP to use her S2 to get more Mars before using the attack. But why would you want to do that, right? You don't want to waste Moxie. So this is pushing Kaalaa Baunaa to be more of a single target beast attacker. Kind of like competing the role with Jiunyangzi, if I would put it that way. A non-limited Jiunyangzi. Okay? And yeah, when removing a certain number of full moon, gain self the corresponding stack of full moon. Divination. And regarding this full moon divination, I don't think you will really use it because, first of all, getting the moons, you need to use ultimate. And then here in the next round, you will get 3 stack of Saturn, and that will just wipe out all the full moon. So I don't think you can even use the ultimate and then trigger full moon now with her Euphoria. Yeah, so I don't think that, I don't know. Unless, yeah, maybe unless you have her P1, because P1 you have 4. But the Euphoria state you get full stack of Saturn. So I think you will never trigger this, right? But yeah, I'm not sure. So this is something that I will have to test out. But it doesn't matter. Before that, full moon is not even that good anyway. It's a stackable buff, and if you use an attack, and then it is gone. So if Kaalaa Baunaa is going to do more follow-up attack now, then you have 1 strong attack, you have 1 weaker attack. So I guess just don't bother about full moon divination. And lastly, about team comm, here I put it, Kaalaa Baunaa, behind her will be Pickles. You can use Flutterpage and then Fatutu because she is going to be in a follow-up attack team. And here you also can consider using Anjo because Anjo now is also tailored mostly for the follow-up attack units. And so I guess it's between Pickles, Flutterpage, and Anjo Nala. You just gotta pick 2 out of 3. The sustain is definitely Fatutu, alright? Yeah, so that's all for this video. It's been a long one. 3 Euphoria units. And 3 of them are characters that I do like. Last time I don't really like Kaalaa Baunaa. Now I look at it, then yeah, I like her now. Okay, so yep, that's all for this video. And thank you for watching and have a good day.